Hey there, Killtouch, Game Changer here. So this is one of my other accounts that I use for scanning players, hence why I didn't need you to leave the alliance. So first thing first, I just want to say a big well done. 84% attack and 58% defense is absolutely fantastic. And I didn't want to suggest that you weren't a good attacker. By no means am I saying that. It's just obviously you will be now facing people in their 55s and 56s and even if you look at this guy over here, that's obviously been destroying us lately. He's level 60, and even I can't hit him. I can't take him out. He's too strong for us. But I'm working on that, so we'll fix that. So what I want to do is obviously get you prepared for the stronger people that you're now going to face now that you're obviously in a CC7. So well done so far. Okay, so observations in terms of base setup. So initial thoughts are that you have pushed obviously your spawn zones out quite far, which is good. That's obviously going to work well. It's going to force obviously players to spawn quite far out. But my observation is that your walls are obviously the problem with HIMARS and things like that is they've got such a massive range. So if I was obviously here with my HIMAR, I could hit that war factory and this salvo wouldn't even pick us up, nor would the machine gun, and probably I could even outrange that peacemaker. Now, what I would do with HIMARS is I would start say here and I would launch across and actually travel. Meanwhile, the peacemaker would then pick me up, and what I'd be doing then is while that's firing, I would keep moving forward, and then I would obviously be underneath the peacemaker, and then obviously I could take the peacemaker out. So you probably need some sort of second peacemaker. Because the problem with the HIMARS is they outrange machine gun, so machine gun won't pick me up. Salvo will. Peacemaker obviously outranges us, but that's pretty much it really. I mean, you've got this new Gustav tower, so that could cause people bother. I've not yet gone against one, so we'll have to see how that works. But ultimately, I can take your war factory out there and probably not even get picked up by anything. So you maybe need to have a little think about how you're going to fix that. And what I'm doing in my base, I'm trying to get all my walls moved out and crisscrossed and things like that, because if I was attacking you, I would naturally use my fobs. My fobs would trundle in, and there's nothing to stop the fobs. Obviously, there's no walls or anything like that, so they're not going to come in contact with anything that's going to slow them down long enough for things like the peacemakers, to work. So I think you maybe need to have a little look at that for me if you could. The helicopter base here. Again, if you look at that peacemaker, I could probably hit that helicopter base and take that out with no major problems. If you're going to have, obviously, helicopters in defence, which naturally will, try and make sure that all the Hinds, even if it does take a little bit of time to get them, because the Cobras just aren't effective enough. I mean, you could take the Hook Cobras out with HIMARS, with Humvees quite easily. Now, in terms of air defence, you have one flak. You really need to be looking at least two flak. And the other thing that I would mention as well is if I hit this salvo weapon here and destroy it with HIMARS, then the next thing that would happen is the chain reaction of that would also kill the machine gun turret. You cannot have turrets touching each other, because if I hit one turret, I'll then take another turret. And you've also got to think as well, when you're in event mode and you are, say for example, wanting to destroy a turret, say in hijack, then what you do is you actually aim at the wall. And if you destroy the wall, you then destroy the turret as well. You know that because you do that in battles. Yet you're not thinking about that from a base point of view. So I could probably take you out here with my M270s, never mind HIMARS, and I would do that by simply hitting the wall first, and once the wall obviously goes, then you obviously lose obviously everything that way. So you do need to move the walls away from your turrets. I would suggest start moving your walls further out as well. And that should start giving you a little bit more defence. What you have got going good is the fact that you've got obviously the war factory, helipad and the barracks all separated, so you can't exactly fly in and destroy them with F-35s and things like that, so that's good. So I'm just going to pause your video and I'm going to take you into my base so you can have a look at what I'm working on at the moment. Okay, so similarities, I'm pushing all my bases far out so that the spawn zones are again as far as possible. And then what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put walls in the way of players. I haven't got walls tight around the base, I've got walls here. I've got walls kind of here. And the walls are there to slow fobs down particularly. To give my peacemakers and things like that a chance to work. Now I've got a peacemaker here, I've got a peacemaker here, those two you can see, but when you come to attackers I've also got a peacemaker behind there, and I've got a flak behind there, as well as I've got mines hidden behind power plants. Can you see the mine there just behind the power plant? So when you first go in and have a little look, you may miss obviously a few of the things I've got defending us. Now I've got salvos, I've got at least 2 flak going on. In fact I've got 3 flak if you notice. So I've got 1, 2, 3 air defense. I've got 1, 2, 3 peacemakers, and I've got 3 salvo. Yes, I've obviously got more obviously turrets than you because I'm a CC8 player. So obviously I will get an extra turret than you guys. But notice the walls. The idea is if the fobs started from here, they'd come in contact with that wall and they'd have to pause. They'd either have to come round the wall and hit the mine, or they would get slowed down sufficiently by the wall for other things to obviously start hitting them. So obviously that's how I'm working the base. So it's a little bit less unified. No 2 turrets touch each other, so if you hit one turret, the other one won't explode. No turrets are against a wall. There's always a gap between the wall and the turret. They don't actually touch. And in my defence, I have I've got HIMARS now, but I've also got the ONTOS. The ONTOS is quite a little bastard. You know, if you have the ONTOS coming out at you, if you can hit it, it's obviously dead easy, but it's quite fast. And it often gets underneath things like M270s and HIMARS, and if it obviously goes into battle against one, I tell you what, if it can get there, because it doesn't always make it, but if it gets there, it does cause them quite a bit of bother. So that's kind of how I'm trying to make my base for a CC8 level attack. It is different to what you're thinking you maybe need to do, and it's certainly working quite well for me. So obviously maybe have a little think about that. Cheers.